Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first official podcast, which is a spinoff of Jolo's Movies, just the Jolo's Movies podcast, or JLM for short. And today we are going to be discussing a movie that I really like, that is a favorite, one of the favorites of my guest here. And this is how the format's basically going to work, getting people's favorite movies that I won't necessarily have time to make videos on, but maybe eventually will. Troll, you've been on the channel many times before.
Yes, I have.
And what movie are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, in my opinion, the best live-action Batman movie, the 1989 Batman movie, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
That is right. Now, this is a great choice, and I didn't want to concern you by actually putting this one up as a podcast suggestion, because now you might be thinking, Merlin, Joe, why are you just doing a podcast for this man? Like, why doing it this way? And I think that my logic was, if I had to pick my favorite Batman movie, it's probably Batman Returns, as you know. So this one, it's going to get a really lengthy podcast. So
Remember years ago when we tried to do like a review on this, like in the Nostalgia Critic, fashion?
Yeah, if anybody wants to check that out, now that he mentioned it, I was hoping he wouldn't. I'm gonna put a hyperlink because I actually looked back on that a while back. We wanted to do a full-on review of this, which we certainly can at some point.
Yeah.
We did it in the Nostalgia Critic style, but this is before I knew anything about editing, so it's just kind of like a
My shamefully crappy costume I was trying to do.
No, you didn't even have the troll costume in that one. It was just the two of us blatantly reading our script. Yeah. So even if it was stuff I could re-edit, most of it's just reading the script.
It's just so amateur and bad. You should all watch it.
Though, to be honest, if I wanted to have fun editing it, I probably could go back and actually take out the audio stuff. I could recreate it now from that, though it would be weird because it's from 2011, and it would be us from a different time, but I don't know.
God, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 2010 or 2011 when I was first started doing random video stuff. So yeah, Batman actually kind of goes back early on to old channels even. So yeah, man, I kind of wanted to talk about this one because this was one of the ones you mentioned for some of your favorite movies, and I felt like you'd have a lot to talk about. We have talked about it a lot before, and the idea of this series is pretty obvious. It's me talking about the movies I love and trying to figure out what makes them great or why people love them, why I love them. And let's explore that, I guess. Batman 1989 is weird for me because, like you, I think it's possibly my first experience with Batman in media.
Yeah, I first saw this movie in the movie theater when I was I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, so it's the first movie I ever remember really seeing.
So that's the first movie you remember.
In fact, I was so young, I thought that the character Knox was Batman, not Bruce Wayne, for some reason.
Knox is great.
Knox is great. Knox is. It's kind of weird. He never showed up in anything else later on.
But he's so iconic if you've seen the movie. Knox is. Well, apparently he showed up in that recent crossover on the CW thing. He was he opened the up to the. That's a separate thing, but yeah, Knox is referenced by some hardcore people, I guess. But yeah, mostly just from this movie. It is weird he never popped up in any of the Burton sequels or anything.
Yeah,
but that is cool, man. I think as far as
for those who haven't seen the movie, Knox is a newspaper reporter, and reporter, is that a good thing?
Yeah, investigative journalist, reporter, newspaper man, old school.
And he's basically there to connect Vicky Vale with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Vicky Vale, the love interest, played by Kim Basinger, who was hired for one reason, besides the fact that she was pretty. And she's a fine actress. Yes, I remember growing up, my mom would always make the comment, watch it, she was hired because of that scream. I'm like, she could scream really well. The damsel in distress.
And they weren't always the same scream. Sometimes she'd cut off abruptly. Sometimes they're really short. Sometimes really loud. This movie is very controversial amongst Batman fans for a lot of reasons. While it did bring a lot, did kind of bring Batman back to the public eye, and I think did a lot of help for him in comic books in general.
Definitely.
This being out. I don't think we wouldn't have gotten Batman the Animated Series.
Oh no!
If not for this movie,
not at all.
But there are several things in this movie that kind of lot of people think gets the character wrong.
Yep. A lot of things actually. Probably the biggest one that he kills people.
He totally kills people.
He kills people.
Though I kind of respect him more in this movie than in the Christian Bale movies, because the Christian Bale movies he keeps trying to talk about how awesome he is because he doesn't kill people and then totally kills people.
I have one rule.
I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. As his friend blows up the goddamn, he uses his tank to blow up the goddamn trains. I mean,
look, he was perfectly able to save him, and he didn't. So
Yeah.
he basically killed him. Yeah, I know, silly line.
But in these movies, Batman he kills, he saves people all the time, and when he decides to kill people, he just fucking does it. Like at a certain point, he's like, "Fuck it," just blows up Joker's chemical factory because fuck him.
Pretty much.
They poisoned his entire city. They are not going down. It's like, no, fuck these guys.
That is kind of cool that like this Batman has a limit where he doesn't kill people, but after a certain point, he's like, you know what? I'm just not gonna deal with it anymore.
No, you have earned this.
Which is kind of hilarious when I look at him like that's fine. Like because it's kind of always like a lot of people that even aren't as familiar with comics, or maybe they are. Sometimes they'll forget that it's a serialized, constant thing. Like, why doesn't Batman just kill the Joker? He can't because there'll be no more stories. But here, well, okay, yeah, eventually he just says, I'm going to kill him because why not? He's a threat, right?
And then I really find it funny that people nowadays remark on this because all the Avengers kill people in the movies. And that's like one of the biggest, best-selling like superhero franchises ever. No, it's the best.
At the moment, yeah, for sure. No doubt.
And each one of the Avengers kills people, and no one gives a fuck. Batman blows up a chemical plant full of gangsters who are poisoning innocent people. So it's like, oh no, it's terrible.
I have a vague theory about that, which isn't really excusable, but it's the only way I could think of that maybe people bypass it. Is that, well, I mean, there is a real reason. I'm sure you'll get to, but in the MCU movies, they started off with Iron Man going after terrorists. So there's always been like this war sort of thing going on with Captain America. Thor is warring with the giants, and in that context, people seem to be okay with these things.
Oh, the Joker's totally more of a terrorist than he is like a traditional criminal in that movie.
That's true, but I know you noticed that people do seem to harp on Batman specifically for the no-kill rule a lot.
I don't know, man.
But I think that is one of the distinctive traits of this movie is this Batman kills people, and I've got a kind of a question for you. It's sort of weird. I know that you're pretty hardcore about being sort of pure to the characters and their comic book interpretations. Mm-hmm. You like to stick with the basics. Now, it's interesting that this is your favorite Batman movie, even though, as you said yourself, this Batman deviates significantly in some ways to the traditional interpretation.
Well, I always did kind of like Elseworlds as well. Like I like Batman has some really great Elseworlds. The Leatherwing one where he's a pirate. Mm-hmm. A really good one is JSA Liberty Files, where he like was a secret agent in World War II.
Gotham by Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight is fucking awesome. The Doom that came to Gotham.
What's the one where
which
he
is like a Lovecraftian one?
Oh really? I didn't check that one out. What's the one where he fights Dracula? Is it Batman Dracula? Or
Blood Rain.
Blood Rain. Okay, yeah.
That one's weird. Yeah, but. So I kind of see this as one of those like I understand as much as I love the comics. I understand changes have to be made for an adaptation, and I was kind of fine with some of them for this one's like one of the ones that people liked at the time. People were really upset about was Michael Keaton being cast because Michael Keaton isn't 6'3" and built like a fridge
and traditionally handsome.
Yeah, but it worked because they gave him a suit and actually gave him the freedom so that he didn't really have to put on the Bruce Wayne act.
Not really, no. Which is, I think it might be one of my favorite things about it. We've talked about. You agree with this that this Batman doesn't really hide his identity that much.
No, he doesn't really seem to give a fuck.
He doesn't care,
which I kind of enjoy.
I like that interpretation. He's disturbed and it's clear.
Yeah. And I'm saying a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're allowed to gather your thoughts. It's fine. It's fine.
And actually, I like that because I think one of the big mistakes that they've never cast a live-action Batman as well as they have in these first two movies. Maybe Adam West. Adam West did fit that role perfectly. but they always cast for Bruce Wayne more than Batman.
They do
which
that.
is a problem because Bruce Wayne is the act, and if he doesn't portray Bruce Wayne as well, it doesn't matter because the audience knows that's an act and not who he really is, which is Batman.
Yes, Batman has kind of become the true persona. That's
Yeah.
true. So you're right. I think it's fine, and that I think is for me the reason why Michael Keaton is definitely my favorite live action Batman. Still is just because even outside the movies themselves, the way he looks and the way he carries himself, and props to the props and costume people, he looks great in that outfit.
He does. Now the actual controversial thing, which I agree with, that I didn't like,
Is the Joker thing.
is the Joker being the one who killed his parents.
People did complain a lot about that, which
They're not wrong.
I mean,
He
I
just did. I understand he did try to make it more personal between the two of them, but he's fucking up Batman City. He didn't really need to do anything else, and he was trying to get his woman. He didn't really need anything else to add to that.
it was kind of an extra thing, and even at the end, it seems almost like kind of like literally kind of punches him out, like you killed my parents, boom, like as if we need any more reason to
As
hate
if
this
you
guy.
need any more reason to
Stop this guy. Like he doesn't like what Batman would be less motivated if he hadn't killed his parents. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I'm going to disagree with a lot of people on this. A lot of people, like Jeremy Jones, to name someone specific, say that this movie makes Joker far more the central character and far more the interesting character than Batman does. I disagree. They do. This is comic book Joker. This is the best Joker we've ever got, and the most comic book accurate Joker. He's just a madman, and he's great, and he loves it. But this movie is also a Batman origin story. You see exactly where he came from. This is within his first year of being Batman. Because he hasn't been around that long, people think he's some sort of weird winged demon out there.
Yeah, I never really got the fact that Batman wasn't at the center of the movie. Like it's still very much his movie. I think it's probably residually about the marketing from the time.
Maybe.
Because think about it, Jack Nicholson is the first build. There is a lot of focus on his scenes too, almost equally to Michael Keaton. So for people to sometimes drift
Well,
towards
he doesn't. Well, he doesn't talk as much. Well, he's Batman. Of course, he doesn't fucking talk as much as Joker.
Well, that's actually one of my favorite things is how quiet he is.
Yeah, he was able to portray so much without talking that much. You get pretty much everything you need to from the guy in every scene that he's in.
It's just a gaze, yeah.
Yeah, even a little bit more in the second movie. Even when he's just watching the Penguin on the TV in the second one, the Penguin's like, I sure hope Batman is there to protect the peace.
Some
Water.
Water. He's got to refill.
Yeah, he's like, subtle.
Subtle.
You're just mad because I'm a genuine freak. You have to wear a mask.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Batman Returns will get a video too.
But yeah, back to this one. Oh man, the part where he just walks up to the Joker and tells him that he knows who he is, and then he just goes over his backstory before flipping out and grabbing a poker.
As Bruce Wayne.
As Bruce Wayne, he just doesn't give a fuck, which I kind of love.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. He's pretty ballsy, actually. No, I will say, I think Michael Keaton does a great job, and I think it also kind of showed what a dynamic actor he was, too.
All right, so we talked about the best Batman, in my opinion, the best Joker.
Okay.
A few of the other things I think this movie did better than those that followed it. The best fucking Batmobile. I hate the fact that Batmobile isn't just a black tank now.
Yes.
The Batmobile in the first two movies was so fucking beautiful. It was the most awesome fucking car ever made.
Yes, I'm gonna echo that, man. That's another thing too. I think that might be one of the reasons why Tim Burton did such a good job because when it comes to the design, the visuals, he really creates his own world, and I think he had a good eye for the gothic elements. That Batmobile is the Batmobile to me. I mean, it's great. That might be my. I mean, it's hard because there's so many good ones, but when I think of my favorite scene of the movie, it's just that little scene where he's driving at night, taking Vicky Vale to the back cave, and there's a dun 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 with Danny Elfman, and just see it riding along against the trees, and then it swells as he's about to collide with the cave, and then, of course, the door opens up, and
everything in that movie, it was all of his all the Batman shit was done in a way subtly. But like they don't have to put neon lights on fucking everything. He's just in the Batcave, and the Batcave is like a fucking computer, a random bat in a cage because
a little more
that's his
minimalistic.
pet. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got like a fucking vault in the side where he keeps his goddamn outfit.
And I think it's in the second. I think it's in the second one they show it. There's just a bunch of the same
outfits and
ready. Like, oh, I
well,
pick
it makes
this
sense. He gets shot alive and blown up and shit.
I know, but it kind of makes me think. Like he picks which one am I gonna wear today? Though, okay. Here's a minor.
I also like that his gadgets are just like smoke bomb, grappling hook, different type of grappling hook, batarang.
They're simple. They're simple, and we definitely see that this Batman is human. He takes some injuries.
Though I also do love that this is, I think, the most intimidating Batman is him too, because he doesn't have to go overboard. He never raises his voice.
No.
When he's grabbing people and just throwing around, he's just this terrifying mess. Like, and people talking about like he might be like this giant vampire creature in the beginning and shit.
Oh, that opening scene.
I love. Great. Oh yeah, it's so awesome.
I want you to tell your friends about me. Who are you? I'm Batman.
And just something where he just steps off the roof and he's gone.
He's just gone. And man, did he kill that other guy?
No, he got taken away by ambulance. He just kicked him through a wall. He's fine.
Okay. I'm telling you, man.
He'll be able to walk someday.
A giant bat. Don't be writing any of this stuff down in the paper, Knox.
Evil Bullock. The first of many evil Bullocks from the Batman movies.
Descard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about the future. That's some quotable lines in this one.
Another thing I love, I hate the idea of the Joker being like a normal, nice guy before he becomes a Joker. That's just not my Joker. I always prefer the Joker that was an evil bastard before he became a Joker. He just got even more twisted.
Now, before the Killing Joke came out, they never really did do an origin for the Joker, but backstory, did they?
No, and spoilers, people, they didn't do one Killing Joke either. This is going to be a little bit more controversial again.
Sure.
But the backstory you see for Joker and the Killing Joke, it's a lie. He tells you it's a lie.
It's a story.
He looks at you. He says that he doesn't know what his history was. And then he basically laughs through the fourth wall at you for believing that bullshit.
That is true. It's a story he decided to pick that he liked to tell this time.
Yeah.
And I think people just get caught up in how much drama was created in that version that they forget who is being told to.
As good as that comic is, I really wish it didn't exist because, dear God, it gets mentioned everywhere. It's like, oh no, the Joker just really wants everyone to be like him. Joker
doesn't really care.
What I really like about this movie, the Joker doesn't have a grand scheme. He's just like doing shit that he finds funny.
He's chaotic evil.
He's just chaotic evil. He's a lunatic that just does stuff for the pure enjoyment of it.
And before that, he was a mobster. He wasn't a very good person anyway.
Yeah.
So he was always a villain.
Yeah.
And, I think that's fine. I just know that these days, people like their complexity. They like the layered stuff. Everything's analyzed. But I agree with you. Sometimes it is good to just have your bad guy be bad. It's fine. It works. Serve the story. And, I agree. That's fine, though. And maybe... I guess that's kind of one thing I wanted to mention to you towards the beginning of this that's come back to me now. I guess it's kind of along with that interpretation of the Joker and Batman. As important as this movie is, do you think it's kind of overshadowed by some of the more recent movies?
Definitely by Heath Ledger's Joker, really.
Because I feel like a lot of people that are a little younger, they might not even know about this one. I think that's sad for me to say because it is so iconic, but
for a lot of people see Bale's Batman as
the Dark Knight,
but I don't think those movies did the character of Batman very well, really. And while their version of the Joker was really good, it was a very separate version of the Joker than who he normally is.
True, in a lot of ways. Though I guess he was still chaotic evil, just in a different version. But I think, okay, do you think Heath Ledger's performance was better than Jack Nicholson's? No?
Heath Ledger was playing a different character than Jack Nicholson was. Jack Nicholson was playing the Joker. Heath Ledger was playing that movie's version of the Joker, which is very different. He had like this main goal. That's
true. That is true. He was much more. He did kind of have goals and plans. Yeah. And he was very methodical.
He wasn't an agent of chaos. He's just a liar.
He just likes to screw with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was definitely more calculated than this Joker was. Though they're both kind of evil geniuses anyway. The Joker, but
I think the main difference is that Keaton's Batman and Jack Nicholson's Joker were very like well matched against each other. I think. Whereas I think Bale's Batman just wasn't up to snuff with Ledger's Joker, which is nothing against Christian Bale.
No,
it's just the character
writing
they
and
wrote.
everything.
Yeah,
I agree. I have issues with the Bale movies, but I do feel like with the Dark Knight, and of course Heath Ledger's performance, I think as a film that really has kind of almost superseded this movie in some ways, which makes me a little sad only because I think people just overlook this one when it can be appreciated too. Well,
this one has some great stuff, like the mobsters and the bright color,
yeah,
outfits from way back in the day.
You know what? Actually, a lot of the mobsters and the Joker themed cars and stuff kind of reminds me of this. This movie reminds me a little bit of Dick Tracy. Remember that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar, and that's a movie I need to talk about here because another great comic book movie nobody talks about. Want to talk about colorful?
Dick Tracy doesn't hold up as well as
this one.
This one, of course, but I think it's really good. I still think it's like a fun watch, especially dear God, Madonna in that movie is just amazing.
Breathless Mahoney, right?
Yeah. And to be fair, the Dick Tracy is no Batman the best of times, and
I meant
and what's his name isn't like Michael Keaton.
Warren Beatty. No.
Yeah, Warren Beatty.
But hey, stylistically, I thought there were some comparisons.
Yeah. Well, it came out after Batman '89. Right?
Yeah, like '90, I think. So
yeah,
maybe it was
I'm pretty sure it was inspired by it.
So there you go.
Let's talk about some other odd, awesome things that you're only going to get in this movie. Bob the henchman. Bob the henchman is awesome.
I like that actor too.
The actor was great. Well, the actor was Jack Nicholson's friend, I believe, and that's why he's in the movie. It's like, hey, I want my friend to be in this movie. All right, Bob. He's Bob now.
Yes, sir. And I'm still kind of sad, and this doesn't make any sense. I'm still kind of sad he shot him.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, out of nowhere, but that's something the Joker would do. So it was great.
I know, but I kind of
like Jack Palance as the Joker's boss in the game.
Oh yeah, as the mob boss guy. Yeah. Which what is it? Is it Grissom?
Grissom.
Carl Grissom. Yeah.
Carl Grissom.
You are number one. God.
Jack Palance in a weird way has Darkseid in this movie.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, but Bob is great. He's just always there. He's really into it. He's like
he likes his job.
All of the henchmen just are immediately like straight for like Joker's weird schemes and shit.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine they're making any money, but they're like, fuck it, we're blowing shit up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they figure they're in good company. They think they're safe with the Joker.
Like you just walk around, like especially a scene where they where they fuck up the museum. Like those guys are having a ball. They're listening to Prince songs. They're just painting over shit.
The Prince soundtrack, all the Prince songs in this movie. That's true.
I think it worked well with the Joker. It seems like some crazy shit he might be into.
That's fine. Absolutely.
I think that was also controversial at the time. I might be wrong.
The score too, actually, come to think of it.
The score that is one of the best.
I think that was kind of used for the animated series.
It's been used for pretty much every Batman thing at some point.
It's such a great theme.
Yeah. Other random awesome little bits. Remember the random ninja guy who jumps out of nowhere to attack Batman in the alley?
That's also one of my favorite scenes because it's the classic Indiana Jones thing. We got the and then
Batman's just standing there looking at me. He's like, all right, come on.
He just very calm, move back slightly, slight block, very minimalist, and then one hit, he's down. Yeah. Like all that show off for nothing.
Just kicks him right in the face and he goes down.
What was that weird thing? The guy jumps up and kicks him. He has like a weird face. What is that thing that pops
He's got like a palm extender or something. He just nails the guy in the groin later. That's later on. That's near the end.
Yeah, that's like he kind of pops up. I was like, that's never seen that gadget used anymore.
I just like random things like just run into this. Bam.
Bam. Alfred.
Oh, Alfred.
The Alfred's pretty good.
The Alfred's amazing.
Michael, go.
A random scene where Vic wakes up and just sees fucking Bruce Wayne like hanging upside down from that bar. It's
yes.
Like, he just doesn't give a fuck. I just kind of love that.
I am Batman, in case you're wondering,
I gotta imagine at some point he has to like leave a meeting or something. He's like, hey, I gotta leave a meeting to do something. He's like, why? Because I'm Batman. Excuse me.
See, the cool thing about about Batman 1989 is that there are these, not so subtle hints that he's Batman. He doesn't care. But when he gets to Batman Returns, he really doesn't care.
Because he wants to fuck. He really shows up to Shrek and like throws like a thing at him. I was like, look, I fucking know Penguin's leader Red Trail Gang. I can't prove it yet. I was like, what the fuck?
So like Secret Identity just
He has giant fucking mirrors to like.
Look, when I do that video eventually, I'm gonna talk about that because that is it's the perfect example of it looks cool but it's stupid.
Mr. Wayne, why do you need these giant like mirror things with the Batman symbol on your roof?
Big Batman fan.
To move to like so I can see when the
signal's
showing. It's like why? Because I'm Batman. Like he does not give a fuck. I love it. I really want that to just be the regular version. Like,
there should be.
Fuck it, I'm Batman.
I'm back at that. That's his I'm Iron Man moment.
And the DC universe, no, because the people, the Marvel populace are assholes. The DC populace are idiots.
That's possible.
No, it's like he's just talking about it's like why? Because I'm Batman. You're such
funny.
a kid at Bruce Wayne.
Like
yeah.
Bruce Wayne, Batman. Come on, that makes no sense. Exactly. I mean, this is the Clark Kent universe. What are we talking about?
Yeah. But,
oh man.
The
Henchman, man. I'm surprised you haven't talked about the Henchman.
I'm saving it.
You're saving it? Okay, we'll save it. I know he's gonna talk about that guy.
I do love the little part where this is when he's saving Vicky Vale from the Joker, and they're in the alleyway. And he's using a grappling hook to get him out of there, and then like it just stops halfway up, and he casually as fuck, he's like, "See that thing on my belt? Grab it. Whatever happens, don't let go." And he just plummets to the goddamn ground. Like does not like show any fear, any hesitation, not even any frustration.
That's true.
He just drops. He's like, fuck.
He's a little annoyed afterwards. Usually a little more than 108.
Like a slight annoyance. That's it.
Like slight, but it's more of like just a statement of, you could have told me the truth and saved me that fight. But another great line. Check his wallet.
Oh yeah, because after he plummets to the ground, he's a little like he falls into trash, so he's a little like
unconscious or
no, he's a little stunned, so they're able to knock him over and shoot his But then they realize his suit has body armor. Might be the first time the Batsuit is ever confirmed to have body armor.
I'm glad it was useful.
It's up there because for a long time it's just like we don't want to make Batman look too indestructible by having him wear body armor. Then after a while, like no, have him wear fucking body armor. But he gets shot, which kind of knocks him out after a little bit. And Bob's epic line of
check his wallet.
So until Vicky Vale like snaps a picture and that wakes him up and he gets up and beats the shit out of all of them. Yeah, what Batman does.
It's true.
Also, I love what the henchmen wear in this. It's just a jacket of the Joker's face on it.
I do like the Joker themed cars too.
and the red and the purple and green cars.
Do you like the Joker's scheme in this movie?
The poison everyone with Parade?
Yeah. Well, before that, actually. Poisoning everybody with all the different beauty products.
And that was great. Everything. That was worthy of the comics. Just like, and then Batman figuring out that it was like different products being used. That was the most detective work we've ever seen in any of these goddamn movies. And he did half of it off screen.
Yeah.
Batman's like, let's go shopping. I'm going to figure out what the fuck this is. And he does. And it's great. And I do love, like, they cut to, like, the news reporters who look like shit because they haven't used any, like...
Or any makeup or anything.
Yeah. Any hygiene
they haven't taken showers.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh. I always thought that was a great touch, too. Don't tell me we run out of stuff to talk about already. The Batwing. Where are my balloons?
Where are my balloons? That's the first time Batman legitimately pissed him off in this entire movie.
He got angry.
That's the first time he got angry. As Batman just shows up. He happens to have like a balloon grabber on the front of his goddamn.
Of course he does.
On the front of his goddamn Batplane. And he just takes them all. And Joker cannot fucking believe it.
All right, let me ask you. As far as wings to the camera go, though, the Batwing flying up to the moon, creating the bat signal. How does it make it? Make it great? Okay.
It was great. I love it.
Okay, perfect.
I feel like it's something Batman would do.
You know what? I'm gonna say he did that to create more momentum coming back down.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he has to fire whoever gave him that targeting system.
The targeting system was terrible. And come to think of it, the armor on the Batwing's pretty weak because I feel like that bullet that Joker shot wasn't that powerful.
I don't know, it was a really long barrel.
Okay, I'm gonna say it was a very well precise shot. But that's the thing. Some people might look at that and say it's stupid, but That's what the movie's much more comic booky.
That was another point where Batman's like, you know what? Fuck it. You're trying to poison my entire city. This guy on balloon. So he just comes out. He blows the shit out of all of Joker's henchmen.
I think this Batman still has the no gun rule, except when it applies to
Sweet.
Gatling guns
On his vehicles.
and straight up missiles. Like, you know, I don't want to use guns because I don't believe in lethal force, I guess, but then he shoots missiles.
You know what? If I need to bring out my plane to deal with you, fuck you.
Yeah. Maybe.
I do love that this Batman has a fuck you limit. I think a fuck you limit is necessary for Batman.
It gets gradual. He's got to go out in the streets. He's got to punch you, and it just continually goes up.
It's like, you know what? Once your murder count gets high enough, he's like, you know what? You're done. You're fucking done. I'm done with this. I am done with you. I'm blowing you the fuck up. So much good shit in this movie. One of the best Harvey Dents we've ever gotten.
Yep, that's right, Billy D. Williams.
It's just a fucking travesty that they have him come back as Two-Face.
I know. It's unfortunate.
He's in so little of this movie, but he's so effective. It really shows what kind of deep shit the city's in at that point.
All right.
Like one of the major, themes or plot points in the movie is that Gotham City's broke.
Yeah.
And like the DA and the mayor are trying to like raise money to bring it back, and they say we're going to like throw like a New Year's Eve parade or some shit for all the businesses to come back. So and everyone's like trying to deal with this shit, and like even Commissioner Gordon's like, I don't think people are going to come back, man. They're scared.
They're scared.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something I kind of want to talk about because is Gordon actually. How do you feel about Commissioner Gordon in this movie?
He is a great stepping stone from the old inept bastard from the West series.
True.
To the almost superhero in his own right in like more modern stories.
Really? Because I feel like that's one area that people might not stand out is the Gordon in this movie. But even though he's a little understated, because he's not focused on, I still like him. He feels.
He's trying. You really feel like he's trying. Like he knows the cards like a jury. So like it's like I'm in charge here, not Carl Grissom. Like he's trying to like stop this shit. But it really shows why they need Batman because
they were corrupt.
They had it was so impossible for them to try to take on like the organized crime in the city.
And I kind of wish we could see more of him, to be completely honest. But I guess we get more of him in other movies.
Yeah, he comes back in every movie in some way, shape, or form. He's never like a big part, but he doesn't need to be.
That's true.
Him and Batman aren't particularly close, though. The actor did say that the actor who played him did say in an interview that it was kind of sad they cut a scene where it showed that Gordon was the guy who found Bruce.
Oh, that scene. Oh, okay.
After his parents died and like put a coat around him and stuff.
That would have been cool, actually. Just to have that little moment from the comics. Yeah. I'd like Gordon. I think he's definitely serviceable.
Very glad Robin didn't end up in this movie. Like every Batman movie for a while, they were planning on putting Robin in for some reason, and it just never happened.
Mostly avoided that up until now.
No, they did in Batman Forever.
Oh yeah, what am I talking about?
Every bad movie has a Robin.
See, this is
unfortunately.
It's funny how in like pivotal moments I'll just completely blank out these things I want to forget.
Every bad Batman movie is they put Robin in some shape or form, which is sad.
Which I feel like the Batman Robin dynamic can certainly work. But I can understand why people want to avoid it because if I was doing a Batman story, I probably wouldn't have Robin in it too much.
Really, most of the great Batman stories don't have Robin too much.
Yeah, they don't. That's the thing. Yeah,
which is
my favorites anyway.
Yeah, which kind of makes it hard because I don't necessarily hate the Robin character.
No.
It's just a lot of times they're
it's kind of unnecessary. Yeah, just added in there to be more popular for the kids, and it kind of would have taken away from the darker aesthetic of this movie.
He always kind of takes away from the darker aesthetic.
Unless you make him dark and edgy like Batman.
No, then he's unnecessary.
True, then he's really unnecessary.
So we got the kick-ass car. We got that kind of stuff. What do you think about the? I got a scene I really love.
Okay.
When Bruce Wayne tries to tell Vicky Vale he's Batman.
Oh, that's a classic right there.
So Vicky's pissed because like he lied to her, told her he was going out of town because he's Batman. One of the few times he didn't just go because fucking Batman. But
I want to build up to that one.
and then she finds out he wasn't because Alfred basically lets it drop that they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he tells her he needs to be out of town for business. So then he shows up at her place with flowers. He tries talking to her, and she just yells at him for a bit. And at a certain point, I do love that he's just takes hold of her, puts her in a chair, is like, look, you're a really nice girl, and I like you a lot. But for right now, shut up.
Shut up.
Which is, dude,
It works.
you gotta have game in order to say that to a woman and have it work.
Yeah, and he pulled it off. Yeah.
And then
he tries to explain.
And then
yeah.
he tries and fails to explain the situations.
To explain
you do it. You do it. Go ahead.
to explain what it's like to be a normal person. Like, you know how a person wakes up and kisses somebody like goodbye before they have breakfast, and then goes to a job, and and then she's like, no.
It's like,
And
no, of course, he just
it's like-
throws
it's
off
like-
his coat in
It's like,
frustration.
you know how like everyone has two sides. It's like, oh no,
You're married. No, not married.
it's just like it's so hard.
He's trying so hard. At a certain point, she's like, it's okay. You can tell me.
And then the doorbell rings
And then doorbell when she gets up, and then you see him mouthing,
verbally.
I'm Batman.
Like, it's funny that that's actually one side of him we see where he does lose his cool. It's like it is hard for him to kind of tell her this.
It's hard for him to be social. It's hard for him to let his guard down.
It shows that he is not used to being that sociable.
Yeah. Which it worked really well. I thought.
Good comedy.
And then the great part where Joker comes in. It's like the second time they face each other. The first time was between Batman and Jack.
Jack.
I hate myself.
Nick.
I've known this
Napier.
name.
Napier.
Napier.
I was like, what? I was thinking this is another version.
Jack
when
Napier.
at the Axis plant. Yeah.
At the Axis plant. Second time this was Joker meeting face off against Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
He just shows up trying to serenade Vicky Vale because he wants Vicky Vale, because of course he does.
Sure.
He tells her how his former girlfriend, who he experimented on, killed herself, and then knows Bruce Wayne's there, and they have this great confrontation where he shoots him with a derringer. He thinks he's dead, but then Vicky Vale sees it, he just leaves the plant on the ground, and she opens up the bag she left for him, just this weird man hand that pops up holding dead flowers, and she goes, ooh, and just drops.
He just faints.
And that's the second time they face each other. Then the third time they face each other is Batman versus Joker on top of the biggest fucking cathedral ever conceived by man.
That church. How many steps is that church?
That's a skyscraper-sized church made entirely out of fucking stone.
How did that thing get made?
I have no idea. It's completely insane. It's beautiful. I love it. Of course Gotham has that.
Of course it does.
And so we get to the top, Batman, and then when out of nowhere, he's like, hey, ever dance Devil in Pale Moonlight? In the most casual voice ever.
Bam.
And bam! And then he just proceeds to beat the shit out of the Joker for a little bit. I think it's great. But before that, Batman, we mentioned Bob already. Bob is henchman number 1.
Yes.
When he gets to the top of the thing, he fights henchman number 2 and 3. Henchman number 2 tries to jump on Batman. He misses, and since the fucking place is falling apart, he just falls through the floor. The other guy tries to take Batman with swords attached to his legs in this giant double drop kick to Batman's face or something. But Batman shoves his hand forward, and he has this weird machine
that
connect to his hand that
thing, yeah.
palms outward in front and just nails him in the nuts and instantly down.
Yeah.
But then there is the man,
his
the
favorite
myth,
character,
the legend, the most unstoppable force, the one who actually does the most damage to Batman his entire goddamn movie, and possibly all of the Tim Burton Batman and Tim Burton and what's his name? The guy who comes after Tim Burton.
Oh, Joel Schumacher.
All the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher movies, the one who does the most damage to Batman. The man, the myth, the legend, henchman number 4.
I feel like this is really the main reason I wanted to have this podcast, because every time we talk about this movie, this has come up before, and I don't know if anybody else ever made this characterization, but the Ray Charles dude, the big dude, he's like the main boss if this is a video game.
He is.
He's so much a hard time with this guy, this fight scene.
Well, no, Batman had survived a plane crash, and they do show that he's hurt by it because he
True.
stumbles earlier on. He's got a little bit of trouble. And then this big motherfucker just comes out of nowhere and just starts whooping Batman's ass across the entire fucking thing. As the Joker just danced with Vicky Vale off to the side. But this guy, he's this big black guy wearing sunglasses at night.
Yep.
As
At
you
night, of course. Yeah, sure.
And he just shows him out of nowhere with like a chain. Or was it like a rope or something? He just
he had a
shows up
chain.
this
He had a
fucking
chain.
thing just swinging at fucking Batman. Batman's trying to dodge it. He's trying to punch him. He's just beating the shit out of him. He throws Batman into the bell and off the tower. And then he looks over, and then that's when Batman finally gets him. He just grabs him by, like, the throat with his legs.
With his thighs, yeah.
Rams his head into the bell, then just throws him off the fucking tower. He's like, no, fuck
Yep,
you. And
yep.
then he falls to his death.
He proceeds to murder that guy, and he's like, you know what? He used some stealth. He's like, I'm not dealing with this.
Batman's
Just,
like,
you're done.
he did not regret that at all.
No, did not look down. Did not think twice about it. No.
And then there was the final confrontation with the Joker. Oh, by the way, I think that guy that he blows up in the second movie, the strong man, I think that's a reference to Henchman number 4. Because the big strong guy,
Oh.
Batman punches him once, does nothing to him, then he's like, you know what? You're blowing up. Fuck
So-
you.
I'm not dealing with this today.
This ain't happening.
That's again, not doing this again.
And then there's a great confrontation where Joker tries to talk his way out of it. Fails. Epically. And Batman just beats the shit out of
You
him.
wouldn't have got the glasses, would you?
Bam.
Uh,
Yeah, I was a kid when you killed Paris. You say, I made you. You guys say,
You made
yeah,
me.
you made me. It's, I got a glass of it. Bam. Which would normally be the end of it. Like not. You know he's not dead because it wasn't epic enough. And then we see that Joker had survived by being on like the side of the church. Then he
Oh,
reaches
yeah.
up and pulls them over, so they're both hanging from it.
uh-huh.
As Joker laughs like a jackass
Ooh.
and,
They don't
and
make them like
stomps
they
on
used to.
and stomps on the bricks so they fall. He does the whole here, let me lend you a hand thing to like Vicky Vale, who's stupid enough to go for it.
Yeah, I don't
And
understand.
then the hand
that,
detaches because it's fake, and she nearly falls before Bruce Wayne saves it.
yeah.
Vicky Vale, not the smartest love interest Bruce Wayne's ever had.
No. No, she is not.
And then the awesome death, where Joker's about to get away, his helicopter of his last 2 living henchmen show up.
Yeah, loyal guys.
And he gets on the helicopter and then explain to the good people what happens next.
Well, basically, there are gargoyles there because this is an awesome Gothic cathedral.
Yeah.
And as they're flying away, he pulls out one of his tools. He gets this kind of like, I don't know if it's necessarily a grapple.
It's kind of like
What are those ensnaring sort of things?
bola. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this bola launcher.
Like a bola launcher, and he basically uses that to attach it to Joker's leg as he's kind of on the ladder climbing up with the helicopter as it's lifting, and then it reattaches to the gargoyle. Slowly tries to pull it off. Joker's slipping, and they manage to hoist up the gargoyle, but it's still attached to Joker's leg. And then he slowly
There's
falls.
this great moment where the Joker like drops 2 rungs and holds on, and you can tell from the Joker's face he knows he's fucked.
He's like, oh
It's
no.
like,
And then he's like, ah.
he makes such a like pathetic sound.
And then he falls, and then there's the great little animated sequence
Yeah.
for a second where he plummets, and of course he doesn't die completely splat. Gordon and the others find him down there,
He's totally dead.
and but
But you hear like laughing.
they don't know.
So then they pull like this bag out of the Joker's jacket where the laughing's coming from. I have no idea what the fuck that is, what's in it. It's one of those things like, is that supposed to be something? What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm kind of more surprised that survived sort of than even he did in terms of his body not being liquefied.
I got
But
no idea.
what are those little laughing, farting, squeeze?
I have no
Bag.
idea. It's just this bag that just laughs.
It's the little,
They
a little
had,
gag thing.
Did he turn that on as he was falling to his death?
Where did he have? You know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Then there's a great point where Batman tries to pull him and Vicky up. The gargoyle they're trying to use comes off this really beautiful yet shittily made church. They almost fall to their death. Batman pulls out a grappling hook, and then they're just hanging there in the middle of the thing with spotlights showing up on them for a while.
Yeah, they're fine.
And then the end of the movie happens. So until what happens at the end.
Well, I mean, well, I guess Vicky Vale sort of turns down Knox essentially one last time.
Yeah, Knox goes up to her. She gives him a kiss, and like sends him off because he's not a superhero.
But then
or a billionaire.
No, but hey, I still think Knox is a good guy. He had a little arc in the movie.
Yeah,
a little bit. He's a good guy, I guess. But he kind of took it, like a man and said, I'll be a gentleman about it. Goes to the conference and they're like, okay, great, but
Batman sent them a gift and a note, and like Gordon was reading out, and it ends with, if you ever need me again, call me. And of course Knox is like,
how do we call him?
Give us a signal.
And then of course they end with the signal, and then bong bong. Then he's in there looking at it, the silhouette, and da 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 da. So that's Batman 1989 for you. It's a good movie.
It's one hell of a watch. I've watched it so much though. It's one of those movies that I've watched so much now that I can't enjoy watching it by myself. I need at least someone there to watch it with me.
Really?
Just because I memorize it so much. Like I can close my eyes and I can just if I just heard like the sound effects, I know what part of the movie they're in.
Interesting. Well, then I guess it hasn't worn out its enjoyment factor for you.
No, I just need to watch it with someone else, because if I watch it with me, it's kind of like I end up just fast forwarding to certain parts I want to see and stuff like that.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, so for you, Batman has become more of like a social experience.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. It's like a go-to background sort of
It's
thing.
kind of happened to me with a lot of Next Generation episodes too.
Really?
Yeah, like Star Trek Next Generation. I just have seen far too many times.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, if you can enjoy it many times, that's perfectly fine. But no, I really like Batman 1989. I think it's one of the best Batman movies. It's definitely up there. I kind of wish Tim Burton had stayed on longer because I really liked his style.
I'm glad he didn't. His ideas for Batman 3 were kind of crap.
You think it would have been worse than what we got?
Yeah.
Huh.
All right. In all honesty, like I love Tim Burton, man, but not every movie he makes is the best.
That's true. That is true. He doesn't make gold sometimes, but I think he did well with his two Batman outings, and this was like
he really did. I think the second one suffers a bit for allowing him to like do whatever he wants.
And I don't know. I think that's one reason why I actually would say I always superseded it, because for some reason I always gravitated more to it, and I think a lot of that was just the style was fully his, and it was very immersive.
It is far less Batman than true to Batman than the first one was, I thought.
Yeah, like the Penguin is completely wrong, but I still am fine with it.
Catwoman's pretty wrong too.
Catwoman was pretty wrong, but I really
they
liked
both kind of worked with that version of Batman though, which
is
why I always kind of forgave it.
Yeah.
There are some things that I can't forgive about that movie though.
Really?
Yeah, like the retro gang and the blueprints for the Batmobile.
Oh, fine. That's just comic book logic.
Comic book logic, my ass.
It's fine. It's fine. But I always have their flaws, but I always like that one too. These are both really good.
Oh, actually, remember the weird opening to 1989 Batman? Before the criminals. Where the opening credits, where it just shows you around this giant fuck off stone Batman symbol.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck is this?
That actually is very reminiscent of a lot of the shots he'd use in the second one, because you're like kind of like, what are we going through, like a labyrinth here? And it is just like a carved out Batman signal, but we don't see it until it pulls out. I'm like, that was a very cool opening sequence. Actually.
Also, I think this might be my favorite version of the Batman symbol. Like every time they redo Batman, they change it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's probably my favorite.
I kind of like the rounded, like wings and stuff.
Do you like the one where it's kind of like more jagged wings? I like that one too.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That one, and then there's one where it's kind of more like rounded off.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good opening. One minor nitpick though about it, as much as I love the suit, he didn't really turn his head though.
He had to turn his entire body.
That was one thing. I'm like, I wish they had found a way to make that work, but
none of them did though. It wasn't until Bale's second movie when he could turn his head.
Man, it's just. No one ever thought about that. But
it just had to look cool. I was like,
that is true, and it looked cool. It worked.
You know, one thing I would really love to see.
What?
You know how before Adam West died, they made some like Adam West Batman animated movies.
Made a couple, yeah.
I'd love to see them do that with Michael Keaton's Batman.
Well, I heard rumors that he is interested in coming back to do another version, and there is, of course, fan support for him to come back.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be awesome? Like to just give Michelle Pfeiffer to come back, have him take on like what's his name as Two Face finally,
Oh, Billy D. Williams.
Ben Williams Two Face in an anime movie.
I think with everybody's age now, definitely doing the animated movie would be very feasible with that
Yeah.
version. And I think everybody is still currently alive to do it except for Alfred.
Is Gordon still around?
I don't know about that. He might be, but I know that. Yeah, pretty much. I think everyone is.
I really love that. I really think it would be a great idea because even Michael Keaton goes like, "Oh yeah, I'm Batman."
Oh
Just
yeah,
like bring him back for something, man.
he'd probably be down for it. I mean, he likes comic book movies. He did Vulture, which was great, and
he was so great as Vulture.
Birdman was kind of a commentary on his whole
Yeah.
career, sort of. So, yeah.
I do love that we're getting more Michael Keaton these days.
Yeah, he's kind of like, it was weird. I feel like the cool thing about this movie is that it sort of solidified him as, yeah, I'm great. I have my stardom. I can do whatever I want. And then the last like 5 years or so, he just started coming back in a big way again.
Yeah, if he's up there with Kevin Conroy for me as far as who I would consider my Batman.
But if you had to pick one, though.
Oh, luckily I don't. So fuck you. That's always who's number one, who's number two always changes for me. Like they always like because when I'm like watching like the animated series, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like the greatest Batman ever. It's awesome. And then if I watch like the first two movies again, I'm like, God damn, he's so good.
It is tough. But I mean, people can always kind of cheat with that one because one's animated, one's not. So
Yeah.
I think that's what saves a lot of people from having to make that choice.
What fully killed any interest I had for the CW shows was seeing what they did with. They finally cast
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Conroy as live action Batman, and they make him crippled, evil Bruce Wayne, and then have him easily killed off by Batwoman. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
Well, I'm glad that he came back, though. That was kind of cool.
Like, I hope you had a good time, but seriously, fuck him.
Well, at least it didn't happen to Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton wouldn't have done that. Michael Keaton would have told him to go fuck themselves.
Probably wouldn't have been worth his time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'll tell you what. In the Film Fanatics fashion, I don't know if you had to smack a letter grade on this, what would it be?
Oh, A+. I fucking love it.
A plus. All right. I'll probably go with an A, just because I think
Just because you like Batman Returns.
just a little more, and I'll try and figure out why. Maybe there'll be a video forthcoming, maybe in some months about it somewhere down the line. But this was the first.
Michelle Pfeiffer's really hot. Is that why?
Maybe the younger me would have said that. I mean, that's definitely a factor. In all honesty, I mean, that will be, like I said, I will definitely do a full video on that one. But I think if I had to summarize why, like I said, I think it's the style. I liked Tim Burton's camera angles and stuff, his editing. I also really dug Danny DeVito's performance as the Penguin. Like, it's so monstrous. I feel like he's more interesting than Jack Nicholson's Joker, to me.
Mm-hmm.
And more frightening, at least visually. And
Far less successful.
Far less successful. But like, I think like I said, it's not like I'm really thinking one is really better or worse than the other necessarily. Yeah. But you know how this movie is kind of cartoony, but still kind of tries to restrain itself a little? The other one's full on, it's a comic book movie, no holds barred. And
oddly enough, though, Jack Nicholson was very much playing the comic book Joker, whereas Danny DeVito Penguin is unlike any other version of that character.
Yeah, which is cool. And once again, they incorporated some of that a little bit into the animated series, too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
They sort of fused him with the traditional one.
He kind of looked like the Danny DeVito one, but he acted like the comic one.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, I think that might be what it is. It's more stylistic. I also think that Batman has a little more character exploration in the second one. I know
more interesting love life.
He has a more interesting love life. That's stronger. I just think there's a little more drama, I guess, going on in the second one. I find interesting, but
it's far less about him than the first one is, which I'm fine with. The idea,
I guess.
I don't think every fucking superhero movie needs to have the superhero change completely by the end of it.
Well, otherwise they probably would, not be as consistent with what they do.
Yeah, I think it's fine to just have a Batman movie where Batman's big problems that he has to deal with, like the villains of the day.
Yeah, man. I mean, yes, no, I think those two are both pretty good up there. I know that the Schumacher ones are considered in the same universe, but it's like,
it's really
okay.
It's really not.
Only because they say it is, but stylistically it's so different. It's like what?
There's two actors that keep that Alfred and Gordon.
Yep.
those are the only two actors that connected.
Yeah.
And they're just playing other versions of their characters, as far as I'm concerned.
So I don't know, man. I know you made that list, and we'll probably get to some other ones at some point. Any other ones you want to talk about in the future, near future?
Can you remind me who I put on the list a little bit?
I know you had Back to the Future on there.
Yeah, I love Back to the Future.
Honestly, I might have to watch some of the ones on your list because there were a couple I didn't see.
Bring it up.
All right, here. Well, I'm gonna go onto Facebook because this is where you sent me the message. We'll see what trolls, because what I did was to try and see what other ones kind of coordinated. I was like, I asked a couple people, like, hey, come up with your top 25 favorite films of all time, which some people still haven't gotten back to me because they're like, oh man, that's hard. I'm like, I know it is, but I really want to know.
I'm up there.
You are, of course. You messaged me recently. All right, everybody. This ending of the podcast here is going to be me trying to find him. Oh, here it is. All right, scroll up because it wasn't that long of a conversation ago.
I think we passed it.
Nah, I don't think. Really? Did I pass it that fast? Hold on.
Wait, go up.
I don't think it. Wait, hold on. I think it's further up. There it is.
There's...
All right. So what else do we have in the list? You didn't put them in order. Yeah. Okay. I think I picked Batman because it's literally the first one you mentioned. So I figured it was like your favorite.
This is the first one that came to my mind.
So it's probably his favorite. Friday the 13th, Part 4, Evil Dead 2, Turn of the Jedi. I'll probably make a video.
We do have to finish watching. We have, I have in my possession versions of Star Wars that are like the highest quality possible, but have the crap from special editions taken out.
They're the original cuts.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We watched Star Wars.
We watched Star Wars.
Not New Hope. Star Wars.
But we need to watch.
Did you bring that this time, by the way?
I didn't bring it with.
It's
me.
fine.
But we still do need to watch Empire Strikes Back on Return of the Jedi again.
I'll let you know. I'll actually tell you right now. Let's see. For people that might be curious down the line, Friday the 13th, Part 4, Evil Dead 2. We'll probably do podcasts about. Return of the Jedi is actually one of my favorite movies too, which means I'll probably give it a full video.
Well, I made myself only pick like one from each franchise too.
Which is fine. I'm sure, like I said, there'll be other ideas. This was just kind of like a starting point. Winter Soldier podcast, Mad Max. I'm on the fence on whether or not I'm going to do an official video or not because I feel like that's not one of my favorites, but then I think I put it as my favorite for this decade.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I love that movie more than I thought. Let's see. You got Night of the Living Dead. I'll probably do a video on that. Thing's coming up soon.
The Thing.
First Contact. I'm torn with because I kind of was almost tempted to do videos on all the Star Trek movies, but
there's a few you don't want to watch again.
But First Contact would be one that I want to watch again.
I know.
It's a good one.
It's a really good. It's definitely the best of the Next Generation ones.
Oh, no doubt. Who Am I?
If you've never seen Jackie Chan's Who Am I, you really need to. It's one of his best movies. I think.
Haven't seen that one. Pulp Fiction, The Raid, Redemption's good. Ghostbusters. You know what? Ghostbusters might be podcast worthy because you want to know something? I really like Ghostbusters, but it's never really been like one of my favorite movies. Like I feel like everyone I know loves that movie a little more than I do, and I've always felt kind of bad about it.
I feel like it's because I'm a little older than you, so I grew up with like the cartoons.
I mean,
which helped too.
I don't know. I like it. I think it's really good, but I'm like, it's never been like as big for me. Total Recall, you like Hellraiser. I was surprised. I didn't think you liked that one as much as you did.
I fucking love Hellraiser. The first two, at least.
Hellraiser's good.
Terminator 2.
That'll get a video. You know, RoboCop's getting a video.
RoboCop.
Predator 2, I think, will be an interesting podcast because you're not Predator, but Predator 2.
I like them both. I had to pick one, and Predator 2 is awesome, and everyone shits on. They can go fuck themselves. Predator 2 is great.
That'll be a good one. Desperado. Breakfast Club was cool. You said Lord of the Rings. I made you pick Fellowship. I remember that. Die Hard. Tremors. And Back to the Future, of course. I don't know if I've ever seen Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet's awesome. Silver Bullet is Stephen King's werewolf. Well, the novel's called The Cycle of the Werewolf, but the movie is Silver Bullet.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well,
we've been talking.
Yeah, like you didn't think, this is the way the podcasts go, man. And now you were thinking we run out of things to say, but yeah, man. Definitely have you on for some JLM podcasts in the future. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Good. Well, always just.
I always love doing these weird. I always love talking geeking with people. Man.
It's like, I know, that's why I figured we do this all the time anyway. We might as well record it,
Yeah.
get some views out of it, I guess.
This is like every time we're alone in a car together.
Like pretty much. Like, I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, we have a lot of these conversations. We might as well just like make it a podcast. This is pretty much what we do anyway. Slightly less. I don't organize, I suppose, but whatever.
Yeah, normally we would have been talking about 15 different movies, but
Yeah, and within an hour, it wouldn't be just like one movie. We would have talked about like, hey, you remember that one comic or this one? It's like, yeah. All right, man.
I think we did that a little bit in this one too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Clearly, still working on the kinks, but a little extra conversation to wrap it up is fine. What can I say? But I will wrap it up now, Troll. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and everybody, thank you for listening. If you have to this point, stay magical, and definitely watch Batman 1989 if you haven't.